Sydney has already had the pleasure, and now Melbourne fans of Barbra Streisand are in for the time of their lives when she takes to the stage tonight for the first of her 2 shows. Now, our next guest has the responsibility and honour of being Barbara's audio director. Please welcome Bruce Jackson.
Thanks, Denise.
Do you get nervous?
No, usually too much to do and too much to worry about when the show's about to go on. Too many audio things to worry about, little to get nervous.
Can we start with one of the worst things that ever happened in your life? Was it the Atlanta Games?
Oh, no, that wasn't my...
Wasn't
No,
your...
but I'm doing the next one, so I want to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, they have a thing that coordinates everything called time code, and that stopped. And in the end, the fireworks were supposed to go off and a big, finale, and nothing happened. They had to let the fireworks off at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, wow.
I'm going to make sure...
But so that wasn't your fault?
No.
No, but that is what you're saying is that's the worst thing that could happen.
But
it won't happen to you.
I hope not.
No. How much? Because you've had so much experience in audio from at the age of 22 working with Elvis Presley. How did that come about?
I was doing what all Australians do and travelling to London and stopped off in the United States and started working with a small sound company. And at the time, Elvis had just started touring again. He'd done the Las Vegas shows, and he was using different sound companies in different regions. And fortunately, ours was one of them. And things went really well. And I ended up doing all the shows.
Because you fly your own plane, don't you? So you used to fly all the equipment to wherever he was.
Yeah, I would use any excuse to fly. I got bitten by the bug because we had 4 and 5 jet planes out on tour, on the Elvis tour. So I used to be always sitting up front with the pilots asking questions, and so I ended up going and buying a plane before I even had my license. And
it stayed with you ever since?
Yeah, I used to fill it up full of speakers and microphones and amplifiers and fly it down to Memphis. And we'd set up in the racquetball court, and he'd always say, we're going to rehearse this time. But we'd always end up sitting downstairs in the jungle room, waiting for him and watching all this junk food going upstairs.
And he didn't appear.
No.
It was sad, actually, the way he ended. But you have 2 great reminders of him. He gave you the ring, Tiger's Eye.
Yeah, he gave me this ring.
That was after something that I can't imagine anyone doing in this day and age, but he did embarrass you a lot, didn't he, on stage?
Yeah, I don't think he intended to do it, but it ended up that way. One time he was, I think, not hearing himself very well or just having a bad day, and he started picking on me, and he stopped the show and in front of 20,000 people and said, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk to my sound engineer." And
got him up on stage.
And yes, a number of times he wanted me to hear what it sounded like for him, and he said, "Come up here, Bruce." And
he would die.
Well, no, finally, because he embarrassed me. The show was stopped, and he was waiting for me to step up on stage. So,
but is he the sort of performer where you could have gone, "Okay, give us this," and go into a chorus of Hound Dog? Or no, you wouldn't dare?
Oh no, well, I just had my blue jeans on and a t-shirt, and there I am standing next to him with his jumpsuit on, and he says, stand there and listen to what I'm hearing. So I had to stand there for a whole song, a number of times. And
hence the ring.
Right.
He should have given you a car as well, I reckon.
Terrible.
Now, you've gone through the 70s with Elvis and 80s with Bruce Springsteen, and now to Barbra Streisand. So you've had a wonderful life, haven't you?
Yeah,
really?
I've been lucky from starting off here in Australia and just ending up just going from one act to the other. So it's been really good fun.
And for someone that sort of dropped out of uni and sort of had a little computer thing underneath your mum and dad's house.
I had a little electronics shop, and I used to build TVs out of old green picture tubes and all sorts of stuff like that. And that's my other career, is I do electronics, and I enjoy that side of things too. I do more of that today than the sound.
Now, can I ask you, as a sound person, can you start developing a microphone so we don't have to wear one of these?
Yes.
The big lump at me. But look.
Yeah, no, we have lots of those on the stage.
But I find it amazing in this day and age. It's the battery problem, isn't it? We've got these big things stuck on our backs. Why isn't there a little tiny slim thing that we can... What, is that in the future?
I don't think it's going to change a whole lot because it just needs the power to transmit. It's a little radio transmitter.
So it's the batteries we're
You
looking
can have
at.
a computer in your little hand. Why can't you have a battery pack in your hand?
Exactly.
I'm
And
telling
this
you.
is from the woman's point of view. We want you to know.
Right.
Where do you put it? Right?
Yeah, right, where they put it.
Now, with this show, do you sit, like when you come in here, that's what I was going to ask you, when you come in here and you're listening to Vanetta sing and the sound, do you automatically start to pick it to pieces?
No, I can separate the two. No, no. When I'm finished working, I just enjoy the music.
So that is good, isn't it?
Yes.
Because
Otherwise I'd make myself crazy.
Yeah, that means
Yeah.
you can step away from it and
Yeah.
and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been one of the biggest problems with setting up the sound for Barbra?
Well, I think it's a challenge because stadiums are new to us.
Right. This one. And especially our new one at Colonial. Obviously, it's going to have a few glitches in it.
I hope we've got it all on our side, that we won't have glitches. It's just that previously we did shows in arenas, which are like 20,000 seats, and now we're doing shows outdoors, and so it changes a lot. The acoustics become a different situation.
And the rain didn't help us last
No,
week either, acoustically.
and we've got this stage here. This is a roof we have to put up to hold all the equipment because we can't hang it from your roof here in Melbourne.
So
And,
where's this all travelled? Has this travelled from overseas or is it all from here?
Well, we brought 25 sea containers with us, but this stage, which weighs about 50 tons, and we're hanging 65 tons of sound gear from that. And so we've bought about 50-50. A lot of equipment came. I bought the entire sound system from the United States. It's brand new technology which lets us control the sound much better than we could have done.
Is that something you've had something to do with?
Yes, yeah. We've been using some new electronic technology, which I've got a team of engineers here developing new digital ways of processing the sound, and we've been using that too.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Because you are Australian, but you live in America.
Yes.
Where do you live in America?
Santa Monica?
Santa Monica, that's a nice place, near the airfield.
Yes. Yes, I'm still obsessed with flying.
And Vanetta, what do you think about the sound even
better
though
say
he's
something
sitting
good.
here?
It is absolutely incredible. It really is. In the beginning, because the stadium is so big and the slap back, but they took it all away. It's no problem.
So there's all
180,000.
curtains going up, isn't it? How much curtain is it required?
I understand here the building. We came in when we were originally looking at different venues, and we said, well, we perceived that we might have a problem here. We need to do something about it. And I don't know who the CEO was, but they signed it off and spent, I'm told, $700,000 on these beautiful black drapes.
Right.
And they
There's
make
a few dresses in that for us, Vanetta, when you're finished.
Absolutely.
and it's made a very big difference. It's helped a lot.
They were saying that about last Saturday they had a problem, but that was because the curtaining wasn't up against the glass.
They also had conventional technology sound equipment, and our stuff
yours
is way
isn't.
different.
Way beyond
It's
that,
way,
yes.
way ahead. Yeah, I think people will be pretty impressed.
Tell me, when I read your little bits and pieces, it said that audio people are normally very competitive. I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
And
from
now
group
that-
to group.
And now is it on this particular concert that they've all come together and worked together? Or is it for the games?
Yes, well, that was for the games, for some testing we were running. Had a whole bunch of different companies come in and show what they could do.
Yeah.
And normally they would be beating each other up, but they all came together and were sharing equipment. And
Well, that's nice to see, isn't it?
Yeah, they took it like a learning experience. So when I walked around and pointed out different things, they were all walking around with me, and they appreciated that.
Well, I can't wait for the concert tonight. And also, there are tickets for Friday night still available. It's called the Timeless Tour, and as we can tell, two fabulous people, out of I don't know how many fabulous people involved in it.
Hundreds
of talented people. The tickets are through Ticketmaster 136-100, 136-100. Please thank Bruce and Vanetta, and we'll be
you,
hearing
Denise.
everything tonight. Thank you.
Thank you,
for coming.
will change.
I'm not waiting another 7 years to get some justice. You mean
Three 464. ING Direct. Who says all banks are the same?
Sydney has already had the pleasure, and now Melbourne fans of Barbra Streisand are in for the time of their lives when she takes to the stage tonight for the first of her 2 shows. Now, our next guest has the responsibility and honour of being Barbara's audio director.